Mayor and Council of Westminster. We are gathered here at the historic City Hall, originally an estate built in 1842 by Colonel John K. Longwell. The city acquired this building in 1939, and it has since been the venue where the mayor and council conduct the city's business. One interesting fact about Westminster is Bill Oakley, a Westminster native born here in 1966, is a successful writer and producer known for his work on the longest running TV show in American history, The Simpsons. He served as executive producer and showrunner for seasons 7 and 8, winning 3 Emmy Awards. Pretty impressive for a Westminster born guy. Moving on. The council typically convenes on the second and fourth Monday of each month. Please note that these meetings are open to the public here at City Hall and are also streamed live on the city's YouTube page, as well as the Community Media Center channel and website. We extend our gratitude to the Community Media Center for their partnership in ensuring public access to these meetings. As a courtesy to everyone, please take a moment and make sure you've silenced your phones or any other electronic devices that may interrupt the meeting. Thank you. And now we'll begin, as we do every meeting, with the pledge to the flag, followed by a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Copies of tonight's agenda and the entire information packet that the council will be using are available online on the city's website. And hard copies of the agenda are available here in the front of the room for those in attendance. First order of business is a closed session statement for the record, closed meeting of Monday, July 28th, 2025, in accordance with the general provisions, Article Section 3-306C2 of the Annotated Code of Maryland, and without objection, it is noted that the minutes of tonight's meeting reflect the Common Council met in a closed meeting on Monday, July 28th, 2025 at 6:02 p.m. pursuant to the general provision Article Section 3-305B10 to discuss public security. If the public body determines that the public discussion would constitute a risk to the public or public security, including the development of fire and police services, and Part 2, the development and implementation of emergency plans. There was no action taken, and that's a statement for the record. We have no presentations, we have no public hearings. And we will move on to, we do have presentations. Yes. I am so sorry, I did not put those in my notes. So we have one presentation this evening, and that'll be the update to the 250th anniversary for the City of Westminster Historic District Commission. Mayor Becker, I'm assuming you are going to take charge for this. You have something for me?
I do not, but Mrs. McMasters is here.
You do. Okay, did not know that you were coming. Thank you.
Talk about it.
No, that's
I
fine.
mean, with conviction.
Okay.
Where should I go? Over there?
Wherever you're comfortable.
Wherever you're comfortable.
Yeah, wherever you can do it right
I'll
there.
stay right here so I don't fall over. Okay, guys. Good evening, and thank you for this opportunity to present this evening. I'm Chris McMasters, and I'm the chair of the Westminster Historic District Commission. And we're here to share what the Commission's been planning for the City of Westminster with regard to the Westminster celebrations for the United States Centennial, also known as the nation's 250th. I'm joined by my fellow Commissioner, Chris Amadori, behind me. And our 250th Legacy Project has kicked off. We're working right now on the renomination of the Historic District. That documentation is 50 years old, and we got a grant from the Maryland Historic Trust, and you guys were so wonderful to offer a match to go with it. And I can't tell you how important this is, because many of you remember the Christopher Weeks book on the building of Westminster. It's out of print and has been for many years. This project will bridge a digital divide so that people can literally touch their phones and find out history about their homes. anyone in the historic district. So I've been told it's novel, new, first in the nation, so let's see how that goes. Our GIS boys have all said they want to do it in the city, so I can't wait to see how this works out. That's done in advance of the 250th, so that we really know our history in historic district. So that'll be great. But thank you for the matching funds. That's a lot of money to match an idea and a concept, and we thank you for that. We have some key projects that have already been completed. May, it was Historic Preservation Month, and thank you, Mayor Becker, for our proclamation saying that we're looking forward to the 250th. That was part of Preservation Month May. Our Liberty Tree Descendant has been planted at City Hall. We haven't had any big affair yet, no plaques yet. Want to make sure the tree actually lives. So we're just waiting for it to grow. Well, these things happen. And Melissa is working with us on the Liberty plaque, and she knows where the secret location is.
Yeah, Mr. Day.
Yeah, don't tell Mr. Day. We've worked on our Westminster and America's 250th logo, which I found out today is copyrighted. So we're going to work on that and get that fixed again. But we pretty much know what we want. We'll just now take out the copyrighted piece of it. And we purchased 2 entrance signs for the historic district. And that's so that people actually know when they're in the historic district. That's been a long complaint that people don't know there's a historic district here. So that will be a legacy project that will show people where. We have key projects in progress. Just as an ancillary, as part of the city, the Westminster Historic Cemetery has been approved for a Sons of American Revolutionary sign that marks 3 patriots there: William Winchester, Henry Niff, and Caleb Stansbury. And that's part of a National Patriots Trail with the William G. Pomeroy Foundation. And we're the first in Maryland to get that awarded. And we got the paperwork in real fast. So we're looking forward to that. We'll invite you all to the party when we have one that unveils that sign. We've also been working with the DAR, and we have a sign that will be erected by the city in Belgrove Square in participation with Record Parks. And the DAR will be having that party for the public on September 20th, 2 o'clock. I hope you've all been invited. If not, you will be. The e-bite is going out right now. And that was a small grant we got from the Maryland Heritage, the Historic Civil War Heritage Area, which is part of the state's heritage area system of 13 heritage areas. And we got a grant for that. And the DAR has come up with matching funds for that. That didn't cost the city anything but their contribution, which I thank everybody in the city. Abby's been helpful, Department of Public Works has been helpful. Folks have committed to putting a sign up for us. We'll have that unveiling again on September 20th. I hope you can all attend. The commission is researching the costs of replacing some of the signs in the historic area on the streets with more brownish signs that look historic, that indicate this is a historic district. Again, a visual marker for everybody who lives in the historic district and those visiting, that they've hit something different and special. So we're looking into that. We sort of have seen a lovely scrolled sort of sign with sort of like that pineapple leaf, fleur-de-lis thing on the top to say historic is here. A little bit like the Belgrove Square sign is just up right now. We're looking towards doing a patriotic transformation on the 4th of July, and that is by draping out city buildings in bunting and flags. And so we're doing the research for getting that material out, so it's very visual and open to the public from the outside. We've also got a list of 38 structures that were here during that revolutionary period. We're stretching it past 1814, because actually the War of 1812 was,
yeah.
it was a
Yeah.
finishing of the revolution. So
That's fair.
we have 38 structures in Old Westminster that we'd like to put little brass plaques on. And so, gonna include probably the, William Winchester's home, the tea house, which isn't actually in the city, but it will be part of that network of plaques of, Revolutionary War buildings. And, the next year may feature even more historic preservation month activities, like maybe some kind of social outreach where daily we give some sort of picture of what Westminster looked like during the Revolutionary period. It would be local history, maybe reenactors, that kind of thing within the city, but we'll hit May real hard. We come before you tonight to give you some of our plans and to ask if you have any creative ideas that you've seen from other communities that have captured your attention. We are a very small commission, so there are some big things we haven't tackled, but these are things that are within our ability and we've gotten an indication that the city would support. So we're looking for you for ideas or for concepts. We're looking for you to let us know if we're going in the right direction, or if you want to ever see me come back and tell you how we're doing again later.
Yes, go ahead.
So this is great, the update. Actually, Melanie and I were just talking at home, like over like the last 4 days about the historic district in Westminster and some of the lack of signage that sort of occurs because you're not sure when you're in the historic district or when you're not. So several of the things that you've outlined on here are exactly the direction I think what I would suggest, which is really great. I did have a question or two. So you said 2 signs for the historic district. Do you know where they're going to be placed?
Where's Mark?
Mark is not here tonight.
Well, we placed them at the, for sure at one end of Main Street and the east end.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's Pennsylvania Avenue or up near the college, but it's the 2 anchor points of the historic district. And those are like, welcome to the historic district with the logo of 250.
Okay, Melissa.
Do you know?
I do. So we were looking and working with our streets department to cap both ends of Main Street. So up near McDaniel College, and then the other one was actually closer to Washington Road, but up further.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. They haven't been placed yet. We'll be coordinating with streets when they do come in, and actually a sign company will be installing them. But
Do you have an anticipated date of when they might be installed or? That's a hard question. That's the best answer, probably. Right.
So my guess was almost right.
Yeah.
We started out with 6 signs, so you couldn't get into the historic district without knowing, but
Right.
costs could have stamped it too. So.
Mr. President, staff can alert the council when those signs are nearly going to be placed.
That'd be great. I'd love to see them, when they go up there. I think that's all I have.
So you did a couple questions. That's it?
I'm looking, but I think Mrs. McMaster's answered several of them.
Mr. President.
Anybody else? Yeah, Mr. Pecoraro.
Yeah, a couple things. So I don't know what the cost of the signs, are. I know that we have a little sign machine that, we can make some signs with, which, may not be quite as nice as what you're getting. They're gonna be the big ones. But I'm wondering if we're gonna sort of anchor the east and west entrances to it. As a lot of people come into downtown Westminster from the north to the south along 927. We're talking about making that major corridor into the city. I'm wondering if we could put something just before you get into downtown Westminster on 27. And I know State Highways probably has something to say about that because of the nature of that road. But I'm wondering if we could put something up there as well to let people know that they're entering historic downtown Westminster. I think that might, and maybe it doesn't have to be quite as fancy, something we could do ourselves. So just an idea I'm throwing out there and leave Ms. Walls to figure that out. The other question I had, or sort of thought I had, is that we do a big celebration of Memorial Day, and we do some other big events here in town, and I am not suggesting Ms. Huber has to do another event. I'm just wondering, I'm just wondering. if
We know
there's-
she would, but go
Well, I
on.
know, yeah, that's why I hesitate to even say this. But I'm wondering if there's some, if we can enlist other community organizations to maybe think about, and, you know, there's the fireworks out at, for the Fourth of July, there's fireworks out at the Farm Museum, and that's a whole separate thing. But I'm wondering if there's some, on the, you know, on the Fourth or around the Fourth, some kind of Westminster community event we could do for the community that would bring people out. And I don't know what that would look like or anything. I'm just wondering if that's a possibility.
We would love your ideas on that. At one point, we talked a little bit about a parade, then the kids are out of school and we just would have had Memorial Day
Yeah.
just a few weeks before.
Yeah.
So any kind of celebration that you think we can really pull off with our little small group and Heavy's mighty background, we'd be happy to do it. You know, whatever you can think of. We're open to ideas.
So are you, anybody else have questions? No? So are you guys, and I am embarrassed that I don't know the answer to this, but you guys are not a 501c3, right?
No, we are not.
So-
We're merely advisory to the mayor and county
Right.
council. And we're invited at their pleasure.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
We're here to be helpful on tax credits. We're here to be
Yeah.
helpful on design outlines, things like that.
Okay.
And we're probably the only local organization that does history in town. So, you know, whatever we can do for the historic district and for town, all of town.
But there's no vehicle for you guys to take in funds independent of what the city would support with, because you're part of the city.
We're just advisory, we're not
Yeah,
a
got it.
separate standing organization, although there are plenty of them out there who could, but we don't.
Okay. Great. Anybody else have anything? Well, it was a great presentation. Thank you. We definitely want you to come back occasionally. So you asked if you would want you to come back.
I
or not,
will come
and
back
then
into my
so-
song and dance as things get better and better.
Yeah, but definitely before this big celebration, we'd love to see you at least maybe one more time at minimum. Yeah, that'd be great, just to kind of give us an update as to where you are sometime, maybe in the late fall, early winter time, and then maybe again late spring as we get closer, if that works for you. So, because it's good for us to know these things, because then, you know, we're out communicating, talking to people and help build a little bit of, you know, excitement about whatever's going on, so.
Absolutely.
That's good for us to know.
And especially just thank you for all the support. Such great city staff here. I don't get to say that enough, but they're fabulous. They're also helpful and they know what can and can't be done. I gotta tell you, top to bottom.
Well, thank you for what you and your small team do, because we know it's a lot of work, and very much are appreciative and grateful for the time and effort that you guys put into it. You know, you've been doing this a while, and
Almost
we're
better
very
part of
thankful.
2 decades.
Has it been?
Can you believe it?
Yeah, it's amazing. Well, thank you. So, all right, well, then move on. You guys don't have to stay. It's the meeting. Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks.
Thanks, ladies. Okay, keep going. God, I can't believe how I blew right past that. I wouldn't have it in my script. Okay, so we will move on to approval of minutes. We will now consider the approval of previous meeting minutes. We have minutes from 2 meetings of the mayor and council. One set of minutes is the mayor and common council minutes of July 28, 2025, and the other is a set of minutes of the mayor and common council closed meeting of July 28, 2025. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve.
Mr. Dayhoff with the motion. Do I have a second? Thank you, Mr. Pecoraro with the second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the minutes, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Did everybody else vote, or is it just you?
Well, you heard it yesterday.
It was quiet.
Okay.
We're quiet.
Yeah, okay, we'll go with that being passed. Next, we'll move on to the consent calendar. We have 4 items on the consent calendar this evening. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Mr. President, I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Huff. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Gill. All in favor of approving the consent calendar, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it, and the consent calendar is approved. Report from the mayor, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just have a short report this evening, but on Tuesday, August 5th, myself and several council members attended various National Night Out events throughout the city of Westminster. I want to thank Mayor Price for escorting me around the city that evening. And thank you to the communities of Bishop Garth, Belgrove Square, Dutterer Park, Carroll Lutheran Village, Eagle View, Fenby Farms, and Furnace Hills for hosting events for your neighbors. Every gathering was well attended by participants, and thank you to the Westminster Police Department and the Westminster Fire Department for participating, along with several local nonprofits. I want to say a special thank you to Sergeant Gillespie for organizing the event on the Westminster Police Department end. And that evening, the sergeant also told me that all the officers involved in the events willingly volunteered for the evening. And I think that demonstrates the department's community policing model. And I'm looking forward to next year. August 6th, I enjoyed Westminster Wednesday with a group of friends at Liquid Library. The weather was perfect to sit outside and enjoy the evening, and afterwards we did do a little bit of shopping. On Saturday, August 23rd, I will be welcoming about 450 first-year students to McDaniel College for the annual Westminster Welcome. The students will walk from the college to the Westminster Library, where they will be officially welcomed to the city. This is just one of the many things the city does to facilitate the connection between the college and the town. And then on Sunday, August 24th at 6 p.m., one of my favorite events, the Westminster Municipal Band will play its end of summer concert at Belgrove Square. This is a great way to enjoy the last days of summer, so bring a lawn chair and meet with friends and family at Belgrove Square. And that is my report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We'll now move on to reports from committees. Excuse me, back to you, Madam Mayor, with the Arts Council.
Right, thank you. On August 20th of next week, the Arts Council will host a new board member orientation. During the day, everyone is excited about the upcoming year at the Arts Center. The Arts Center has been awarded a grant from the Maryland State Arts Council County Arts Development Grant for this year, and will soon be receiving the funds. Also, I don't know if you had noticed, there was an article on Carroll News about the funding for the Arts Center, the lack of funding for the Arts Center, but that article was concerning last year's funding from the county, not this year. When you first read that article, it sounded like they weren't funded this year from the county, but in fact, the Arts Center received almost $45,000 from the Carroll County Commissioners. Tatiana Bell has been hired as the new visual arts director and has hit the ground running. Classes are being scheduled and filled, and the gallery is being filled with a lot of energy. Speaking of the gallery, the members show runs from September 23rd through November 8th. This is a chance for members to submit their artwork for a high quality gallery show. And so if you are a member, the deadline to enter is September 1st. And you can see the Arts Council website for more details. Rounding out the month are 2 art gallery shows, a free outdoor movie tomorrow, The Tiger's Apprentice at the Rotary Amphitheater at Carroll Community College at 8:30 p.m. And on Friday, the 15th, the movie Best in Show will be shown at the Arts Center at 1 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. And if you have not seen the movie Best in Show, it is I think they call a mockumentary about dog shows. And it's hilarious if you have not seen that. And that's my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We'll move on to Economic and Community Development, Mr. Huff.
I have nothing to report this evening, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Huff. Finance Committee, Mr. Pecoraro.
Thank you, Mr. President. Finance Committee did meet recently. We have an item we'll discuss later on the agenda, but in addition to that, the committee did take some time to have a brief discussion on some student financial services and budget issues surrounding that, and we'll have board follow up if you want that. Subsequent meeting.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pecoraro. Personnel Committee, Ms. Gilbert.
Alright.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to the Public Safety Committee, and that is me. So let me get this up in front of me. It's a little bit of a lengthy report, it's quite a few items. So the Westminster Police Department welcomed the new lateral police officer, Dylan Malak, is that right?
Abdul Malik.
Abdul Malik, I'm sorry, who started on July 29th. Officer Malik brings just over a year of law enforcement experience and is a 2024 graduate of the Maryland Police and Corrections Training Academy. Police Department took delivery of 2 new marked 2025 Dodge Durangos last week, good timing, and expects to receive 2 additional vehicles next week. Renovations to the Criminal Investigations Bureau were completed this past week, including new flooring and updated office furniture. So I'm glad you're very glad to have that done. On July 29th, the police department partnered with the Carroll County Sheriff's Office and Shepherd staff to participate in the annual Back to School Shop with the Cop event at West Middle. And then on August 2nd, the police department partnered with Walmart and McDaniel College Public Safety to host a bicycle safety event at the Westminster Walmart. And then on July 23rd, 2025, Sergeant Christopher Workman, PFC Nicholas Eade, and Officer Barbara Bogan assisted an elderly woman, Miss Joan B. DeMall, who experienced a vehicle trouble at Town Mall. Despite challenges with her roadside assistance provider, the officers reassured her. She was very upset. It was obvious by the tone of her letter that she was really worked up and really concerned. She's an older lady in a closing shopping center, and she just had a lot of concerns and couldn't get assistance out there. She said the police officers made her feel so much better. And when the roadside assistance folks did not show up after telling her they'd be there and then telling her they'd be there, the police officers actually changed her tire for her. And then explained to her how to carefully drive on that temporary tire. She sent in a letter, it was really heartfelt, showing her appreciation and professionalism and helpfulness that the officers displayed to her. And I'm not going to read the entire letter, but it was really impactful. What wasn't really a big deal was a huge deal to her. And these police officers took the time to really make her feel a lot better and safe. And she took the time to write a very nice, pretty long letter talking about that. So that was wonderful. That is all I have for public safety. Let me get my thing back up in front of me. Oh. Okay, so then we'll move on to Public Works Committee.
I have nothing for Public Works tonight, Mr. President.
Thank you. Rec and Parks, Ms. Gilbert.
Well, I have a few things. Coming up on Thursday, August 21st from 4 to 6. We invite the community to join us for the 3rd annual Kindness Stroll Kickoff Party, hosted in partnership with Action for Kindness and the Infinite Love Project. This event celebrates simple acts of kindness in Westminster. Attendees will enjoy sweet treats, creative activities, including coloring stations, sidewalk chalk art, and crafts. Participants will also stroll down Main Street to view and vote for their favorite Be Kind signs displayed in downtown storefronts. Proceeds for this event will benefit several local nonprofits. Then on Wednesday, September 3rd, from 4 to 7, the Westminster Municipal Pool will host its annual pooch pool party, I shall say. This free event is a favorite among dog lovers and benefits a local animal rescue each year. All dogs have to have proof of current rabies tags and wear a collar or harness to participate. We are also excited to announce the return of a popular short distance race series, Storm the Castle. A lot of people are getting emails on this right now. They are Storm the Castle 1 mile runs. This series brings together runners, walkers, and fitness enthusiasts for fun and community engagement. The series will kick off with Fall Fest Mile on September 25th, Spooky Sprint on October 25th, and during the Downtown Spooky Saturday. And we'll conclude with the Jingle Bell Run on November 29th. And that is all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Gilbert. Sure, go ahead.
The kindness stroll, where is that kicking off from? Give Did I miss the location?
Ms. Gruber, where is the kind of stroll kicking off from? Do you have any idea?
Locust Lane.
Lucas
Okay.
Lane?
That was gonna be my default, but I got the check banks.
I kind of thought that myself, but I wasn't quite sure, because with my luck, I would say that. and moved it.
I can see.
Uh-huh.
All right,
Thank you.
Technology Committee, Mr. Dayhoff,
No report, Mr. President, thank you.
and Intergovernmental, Mr. Huff.
The only thing I will mention is that we're doing some background work to prepare for our budget request to the state for the upcoming legislative session. Obviously, that's a ways away, but there's a lot of planning that goes into the background on our requests. So we're starting to work on that now.
Well, it's
Thank you.
important because you brought the bacon home before.
We hope to be able to continue to do that.
Exactly. You've set the bar. Okay, now we'll move on to council comments and discussion. Mr. Pecoraro.
I have nothing tonight, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Dayhoff.
Mr. President, the Historic District Commission mentioned, or was it maybe an email from Ms. Impulse? There's an event coming up at Belgrave Square.
Yes,
Can you refresh my memory on that pretty quick?
yes.
Sorry.
On September 20th
September 20th.
at 2 p.m., the Daughters of the American Revolution will unveil their 250th commemoration plaque in Belgrove Square.
Great. September 20th. DAR at 2 p.m. at Belgrave Square.
Yes.
National Night Out was great. I really appreciated it. That really brings community together. I really appreciated all the efforts that went into that. And I think that's all I have on my mind, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Dayhoff. Ms. Gilbert.
I just have a few things. I also was attended the National Night Out, and I just want to thank all the people who organized it. A lot of those folks did it out of their own time, their own pockets in many cases. So it was a great event and a great sense of community. So they all did a great job. Mayor Becker already talked about McDaniel Welcome, a little coming up on August 23rd. So I just wanted to remind folks to prepare, as we will now soon see the onset of 18 to 22-year-olds returning to campus at McDaniel. So make sure not only are you watching our sidewalks, but also they'll hopefully be visiting our downtown restaurants and our stores. So seeing a lot of new people hopefully buzzing around our streets.
Probably on scooters and wilderness. Oh.
Thanks.
Right.
Let's hope not.
Please.
Mr. Huff.
The only thing I'll mention, I also enjoyed National Night Out. I just want to thank Lieutenant Wright for being my chauffeur for the evening and taking me around. And again, it's really great that, I think we have a total of 6 neighborhoods. And I really appreciate, the public or those neighbors, putting together those events and, hosting them. So that's it. Thank you, Mr. President.
Great. Now we'll move on to ordinances and resolutions. The only item under ordinances and resolutions is adoption of ordinance 2025-08. Mr. Whitworth.
Good evening, Mr. President, Madam Mayor, Council. For your consideration is the adoption of ordinance 2025-08, an ordinance of the Mayor and Common Council of Westminster, amending Chapter A-175, Fees, Article 1, Utility Fees, Section A-175-1, Utility Fees, Charges, and Costs Adopted, Utility Fee Schedule Established of the City Code to increase the fees for water meters to reflect increases in the city costs since the last fee adjustment.
Thank you. Ms. Imhoff.
Thank you, Mr. President. Fees for water meters were last reviewed and amended by the Mayor and Common Council in 2008. The current cost of the water meters exceed the amount in the code, which means that the city is currently subsidizing certain water meters. Ordinance 2025-08 amends the code to reflect current pricing. Therefore, staff recommends that the Mayor and Common Council adopt ordinance 2025-08. That concludes the report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Ms. Imhoff. Let's go ahead and get a motion and second so we can get it on the floor and then we'll have some discussion. Do I have a motion for the adoption of 2025-08.
So moved, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Pecoraro,
Second.
and Ms. Gilbert has the second. Is there any discussion related to this item?
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Pecoraro.
thank you. On behalf of the Finance Committee, just wanted to let you know that as we had said at a previous meeting, that we did meet on this subject and discuss the proposed increase in the ordinance with Ms. Hulse. It is, as she stated earlier, an effort to recover the costs, and that's all it is. I mean, the city's not making money on this. We're just gonna cover the costs, of these meters, and it's something that we strive to do in these kinds of situations. So on behalf of the Finance Committee, I recommend the council approve this ordinance.
Thank you, Mr. Pecoraro. Any other discussion?
Mr. President,
Yes, Ms. Gilbert.
I guess I had a question. I just wanted clarification. So the change in price is what we're charging our city residents? Or was that the deal? Is that why I'm assuming losing the money, we're charging them $300 when we should have been charging them $356? Or, and et cetera, on down the list, is that correct?
Yeah, this is when someone installs a new meter.
Okay, all right.
Residents, commercial businesses, industrial areas,
Okay,
anyone who, both inside the city residents and also those that are within the district but outside of the city limits.
okay,
Anyone who's purchasing a new meter that's of the size that's in the ordinance, the city is currently subsidizing part of that, and this ordinance will correct that so that the actual cost of the meter will be passed on to those who are purchasing it.
okay. And then, if that price, excuse me, I'm sorry, one more follow-up question.
Sure.
So then, if that price continues to go up, do we have to keep coming back for a new ordinance? Like, could we not put something in there to say that, could we not just, as the price increases, change it? Cause I feel like it's taken all this time to change this ordinance and we've lost a lot of money on that. So could there not be verbiage in the ordinance that kind of reflects the change in cost as time passes, so we don't have to keep changing the ordinance?
Mr. Pecoro's chair. Finance, can you go ahead and address
Sure,
that?
and Ms. Imhoff can give us more detail on this, but we have moved, the approval of all the different fees that the city charges to a sort of an annual part of the budget process. So, so this, we're gonna move this, this is situated differently in the code. So we're gonna move this to that process as well.
Okay.
And so then, we'll be able to, adjust this as necessary on an annual basis.
Cool, thank you.
Mr. President, just to clarify that, and that was discussed and Mr. Councilmember Pecoraro just indicated. To resolve that and to achieve what he just outlined will require one more ordinance to cancel this out and put that over into a fee schedule, which the council then adopts by resolution from time to time. You may recall, we've adopted the pool rates and the fitness center rates, et cetera, by fee schedule. But the staff was asking for this update now so that we can, a variety of new construction coming down the pike, and we wanted to make sure that we're not subsidizing that with taxpayer dollars in the meantime until we can correct this on a larger scale.
Thank you, Ms. Nichols.
Thank you.
Mr. President.
Any additional? Go ahead, Mr. Dayhoff.
Sort of a long line. I mean, when I saw that utility fees were on the agenda, my mind went to the utility cut rates, the utility cut ordinance that we have. And I remember, and I looked it up today, and we briefly discussed this a year ago about raising the rates and raising the specifications. I wonder if we want to include the utility cut rates in that. I don't think we've raised them since we first adopted the original ordinance in 2003 or so.
So, Mr. Dayhoff, I want to be clear on what you're saying. Are you suggesting that we modify this ordinance
No,
to
sir.
include something different?
No, sir.
Okay,
No.
so you're talking about something unrelated to
Yes.
this specific.
Well, yes, sir.
Okay.
Sort of, yes, sir.
Fair enough. And what I would ask is, let's stick to this ordinance, and if you wanted to opine on something under new business, it's not because I don't disagree with you, but we can either bring that up under new business if you'd like.
Okay.
Council comments and discussion, which we've gone past, but
Yeah,
I'll give you the leeway to go back if
Yes.
you want to.
Okay.
But let's, I don't want to
I agree.
twist up something else unrelated to this specific.
I agree. Thank you.
Okay, so does anyone else have any other discussion or comments related to this ordinance? I will make one quick comment. I do appreciate the fact that Finance Committee took a moment to make sure we were clear on what we were doing here. I think that's important. You know, look, and this ties in a little bit with what Ms. Gilbert was kind of discussing too. I think we have to always maintain and keep the responsibility of any adjustments of what we're charging our citizens for anything that we do. That's gotta be our responsibility. Bottom line is the buck stops with us, and those decisions need to rest here. So I'm glad you guys took the time to do that. We'll go ahead and call the question. Hearing no more discussion. All those in favor of adopting 2025-08, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, and 125 is adopted. I have no unfinished business that I'm aware of. Is there any unfinished business? Hearing none, we'll move on to new business. Is there any new business?
Would it be okay if I yielded to the?
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and call it in, but if you'd like to discuss your item, we can do that before or after.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wonder if at a future workshop session that we might be able to take a look at utility cut fees and the utility cut specifications, because if I'm not mistaken, what I've heard from the city administrator is that we were talking with PG&E about a different approach from just patching a little spot. And I wanted to look in the ordinance and see if we could address that and then discuss the fees that we just paved Main Street. And the idea of cutting it up again in the near future, willy-nilly, I'm just not a fan of that. We spent a lot of money on it and it looks great. We're getting great feedback. So if we could include that in a workshop session, I would appreciate it.
Mr. Halls, can you put that in the tickler file for
I can.
future work session, please?
The utility cut rate ordinance, concept of creating an ordinance to update the code is in the queue for legal review.
Great.
It's not next or next after, it's not on deck. It's in the queue though, so it will be.
Somewhere in the batting order, but a little ways down.
Maybe 5 or 6
Okay.
in the batting order.
Okay.
I assume that goes then to a committee, but if you would prefer it to go to the work session as a whole.
Well,
Mr.
that's,
President, we can discuss that when we get closer to the date, when I have a better idea of what,
Yeah, that feels like public works.
Yeah.
when I have a better idea of what that ordinance may look like and the impact of it.
So did you?
Well, not to speak for the chairman of Public Works, not one, but it feels like that would be all under Public Works to discuss.
okay, that would be fine.
So my only comment there would be is Councilman Dayhoff specifically did ask for it to be in a work session.
Okay.
So I want to give him, look, he's asking for it. I think we should do it. I understand that, no question, I think it's going to end up in a committee at some point in time. But he's not on that committee, so that's what we have the work sessions for. Let's give him the opportunity to have a couple of minutes to make whatever comments he might like, have a brief discussion about it. Then we can put it into committee at that point and move
Okay.
forward from there.
I like
Does
that.
that work for you?
I like that.
Wonderful.
I like that.
Okay, thank you. Anything else on the new business? If not, I'm going to give Mr. Greg Wance an opportunity to speak briefly to us about the Westminster band. It's a little bit out of the ordinary in terms of putting them in here, but I know he wanted to hang around and see the whole meeting as opposed to going up front of the presentation. So I thought now was an appropriate time. It's nice to have you here.
Yes.
I'll just say that I think I speak for everybody. We love the band. And we're always going to be as close to you guys as absolutely possible in every grade, because we're the most boring part of the grade. And being near you makes us just that much more exciting.
That's great.
Yeah, so the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you very much. First and foremost, I want to thank you all for the support that you give us. And I know the grant this year, that we're getting is an increase from last year. And that helps us tremendously with our expenses throughout the year, because we do have expenses, uniforms, things like that. So thank you very much for that. But this little review of our year, this past year, as you know, last year, at the end of the year, we were kind of reeling a great deal because the loss of our director, Sandy Miller. And so that was a tough thing for us, because she, as you all know, she was our director for 24 years. And she knew the ins and outs of that band, just as much as I do. And it was a great loss. But I'm happy to announce that after a couple months of getting our feelers out to try to find, which wasn't easy, find a new director. We had, we were advertising everywhere that we could. And I'm happy to announce that we do have a new director, and his name is Jeremy Norris. And he's actually, he works here in the city. He works at, is it Spring Garden? The school.
Yeah,
On Center Street.
yeah.
Oh,
Spring.
Carroll Springs.
South Springs.
Thank you.
Right,
Thank you.
okay,
Carroll Spring, yeah.
yeah.
So he teaches there. He's, late 30s, and he's got a lot of musical background. And I think he's gonna fit very well with us. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here with me tonight because he's in a tent camping somewhere.
Good weather for that.
Yes, so, but, he started with us, I guess, a month and a half, 2 months ago now. And, so he's, we're very pleased because I think he's gonna bring a lot of, he has a lot. Just for instance, his sister is the band director at Century High School.
Right.
So he's got a lot of feelers out there trying to get with us because the average age of our band, I'm 64, but the average age is like late 50s, early 60s of the band. So we need youth, and I feel very great about that. He's gonna try to fill that void for us because he's one of his goals. So that's a great thing. I just wanted to mention a couple of highlights this year. Of course, we went down and did our annual participation at the Ocean City Convention, the Maryland State Firefighters Association, again this year in June. And just to highlight that, I don't know if you all know this or not, but one of our color guard members, Charlie Simpson. I don't know if any of you know Charlie Simpson. Longtime fireman. He's in our color guard. He's been on our color guard for over 20 some years. He was actually was put in as president of the Maryland State Firefighters Association this year. And that's a really big deal because it takes 3 to 4 years to get to that point. You go in as second vice president, you go to first vice, and this year he was voted in as president. So that's a big thing for the city and of course the band. So that was a great thing. And let's see. So the other thing we went to, we had just a couple weeks ago, we did a 100th anniversary parade in Newport, Pennsylvania. It was 100 years for that fire company up there. And they invited us to come up to their anniversary parade, which was a really nice parade. And so we represented the city up there. Nice, very nice up there. So that was a great thing. And of course, a couple of things coming up. Again, we were chosen as a partner for Abby and the Westminster Fall Fest again. So we'll be helping Abby and the crew at Fall Fest. Great fundraiser for us too. So we enjoy that because we get a lot of people out. And I think it's gonna be a little different this year than what I've heard, but we'll adapt to it and we'll get it done. So and so other than that, I mean, just a couple things, end of year events coming up, of course, parades in town and stuff like this. We're eager to do that. And I will mention before I sign off here that it's great to see streets repaved. All the band members, thank you.
Hey, listen, we walk on them too, and trust me, I'm always worried I'm gonna trip
Oh,
on my
me
face in
too.
front of everybody.
Right. No, I didn't know you were gonna do that, all those areas, but, so that's, thank you. That's great, so again, thank you for everything that you all do for us, it's,
Feelings mutual,
yeah.
and that's why we raised that contribution, because we know things are expensive, and we love the band. So
Thank you very much.
that's our best way of showing it.
Yeah.
So, thank you. All right, wonderful. Anybody else have any comments? Okay, we'll move on. Yep, Madam Mayor, did you?
Nope.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Okay, no problem. Okay. You don't have to stay for the rest of the meeting if you don't want to, but you're more than welcome to.
Okay.
Matter of fact, we'll get to citizens' comments if you want to talk a little bit more. Okay, we'll move on to departmental reports, Ms. Imhoff.
Thanks, sir. We'll be quick for you tonight. We're gonna start with the Recreation and Parks Department. Ms. Gruber?
Yes, good evening. Just two quick items. I wanted to go over some statistics from our Recreation and Parks Month celebration. Throughout the month of July, our activities engaged a total of 2,197 community members. And what's interesting to note is this figure does not include attendance at any of the other activities that we marketed on behalf of other organizations, nor does that number include the A Toast to Italy event, which we estimate to have drawn about 4,000 attendees to our city that evening. So definitely made an impact. We are always glad and happy to spread the mission of the importance of public recreation and parks. So we thank you for your continued support of those celebrations throughout the month of July. And lastly, we've been tracking some new metrics at our fitness center through some data collection tools that we've always had access to, but we finally had a chance to really engage in those tools and expand their use for us. And I thought it was interesting to note that during the month of July 2025, 65% of our members and guests participate in group fitness classes. And I just think this is interesting because it certainly reflects strong engagement in our fitness center, but more so enthusiasm for wellness programming. So thank you again for your continued support of those operations. We certainly could not do it without you and the funding that you provide to keep those programs moving forward. That concludes my report unless there are questions.
Questions for the Recreation and Parks Department?
Sorry, I almost stole your thunder there, thinking I'm running this part of the meeting. Sorry, go ahead, Sarah.
Hearing none, we're ready to move on to the Technology Department. Mr. Moore?
Good, I do not have a report type on the appropriate questions.
Are there any questions from Mr. Moore? Hearing none, we'll move on to the Human Resources Department. Ms. Brown?
Thank you, Ms. Imhoff. Good evening, everyone. I do not have a report unless there's any questions you may have for me.
Any questions from the HR Director? Hearing none, I will be playing the part of Mr. Depot tonight. If you've noticed, the agenda does not include the planning department, so we've given him the night off on a rare occasion. On October 5th, the Board of Zoning Appeals was scheduled to hear BZA case number 25-04, an application by Modular Genius Inc. Appealing the May 21st, 2025 zoning determination ZD 25-04 made by the zoning administrator concerning outdoor storage as permitted use in the Meadow Branch Industrial Park on Lot 2C. The applicant requested a postponement of the case, which was denied by the BZA. Subsequently, the applicant withdrew its appeal. On August 6th, the Historic District Commission approved historic tax credit post-construction application TC-25-03 for 147 West Main Street, accepted the historic structures report for 219 East Main Street for the demolition of the rear porch, accepted the historic structures report for 285-287 East Green Street across from Maggie's for the demolition of a wood-framed commercial structure and portions of another structure on site to provide additional parking, and continued its discussion of the nation's 250th presentations. On October 21st, the Planning and Zoning Commission is scheduled to do two things. Review Site Development Plan S-23-0001, a new Chick-fil-A located in the southeast quadrant of the Baltimore Boulevard, Maryland Route 140, Old Baltimore, Boulevard intersection to construct a 5,493 square foot restaurant. And review site development plan S-22-0034 located at 288 East Main Street to construct a 2-story, 4-unit multiple family dwelling. Anybody have any questions that I could get you answers to on another day? Was told to look at you because the wave of boredom that Mark expected from that singular report, but I wasn't able to do that while I also read it. So I appreciate your attention to that matter. We will move on to the housing department. Mr. Moore, Mr. Brown.
Good evening. I have no report. Just wanted everyone to know that we continue to receive complaints or concerns from citizens that we respond to as expeditiously as we can. I'll answer any questions that anyone may have at this time.
Are there any questions for Mr. Brown? Hearing none, we will move on to the police department. We've got with us tonight our Deputy Chief Major Price. I want to take a moment to echo the comments of the council and the mayor to thank the police department for their putting on a really good show for National Night Out. There's a lot of effort that goes into planning that particular event, a lot of different parts of the community, and we want to thank the police department for their hard work. Major Price?
Thank you, Ms. Inhofe. Good evening, council. First of all, we were proud to participate in National Night Out. It was a great event. Each event had a strong community turnout. And we just wanted to thank everybody that came out and all the support that you guys gave us to make it a success. We look forward to making it even bigger. The only other thing to note is this last Friday, we had our second quarter awards for our sworn and civilian employee of the second quarter. And those awards were presented to Detective Courtney Brandt and Parking Enforcement Officer Robert Hand in recognition of their outstanding contributions to the community between April and June. So Detective Brandt had 4 investigations. She was able to close 2 of them. She authored 7 search warrants, and one of the investigations was a series of stolen vehicles that we had in the city that she worked tirelessly on, identified the suspect, and charged the suspect. He is currently up in Pennsylvania waiting extradition. And P.O. Hand, I can't say, Parking Enforcement Officer Hand, I can't say enough about his job that he does. He goes out, he's very judicious, he educates the public. He works well with the streets department, making sure that all of our parking infrastructure is good. He takes a lot of heat out on the street, but he does a great job in de-escalating and talking to people. But he has created his own database until we get our database up and running. So it's a lot of extra work. He collaborates very well with everybody. So those are our 2 awards. Thank you very much.
Any questions from the police department?
So Ms. Inhofe, I'm sorry, anybody else have any? Go ahead, Mr. Carpenter.
Thank you. I'm just curious, you mentioned it's created as a database. How is the Park Mobile app working? In terms of collection efforts and
as far as it working for collection efforts, it's working well. We're still working on the enforcement solution part of it. So, but yes, it is, the warnings and the violations have actually gone down. So people are utilizing Park Mobile from what the parking enforcement officer hand said. So seems to be working well.
thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President, we can get some information. The police department doesn't have anything to do with the collection side of things. We do on the ticket issuing side and the notation side. So we can get some data for you, Mr. Pickero, about the usage of the Park Mobile app.
So anybody else?
Which falls in the technology department.
One quick comment. I'd like to take this back to him. Hand, is that his name? H-A-N-D?
Yeah.
So he's got a super tough job. I mean, that's just a thankless, tough job to do. And I see him out there all the time. I mean, he's out working hard. And yeah, there probably has been a bit of a reduction relative to Park Mobile. But I think a big part of it is because people know they can't just get away with it anymore. And I hear that, but I hear it really without a lot of complaints. So it's obvious he's doing a good job and he must be interfacing with people because I hear people make comments about how they can't get away with just parking anywhere they want, anytime they want anymore, but they're not really complaining about it. So that tells me he's doing things the right way. I spoke to him very briefly in our little picnic that we had, and it just seems like he's got a real good way about him for that job, just a
He's got a
great
very
personality.
great demeanor.
Yep. So please, if you would, take a minute, grab him, let him know we had a lengthy discussion about him at the council meeting, and we're very appreciative of the job that he's doing. And we understand it, so it's kind of a thankless job, and we're glad he's doing it.
I will.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. President, that concludes the departmental reports.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to citizens' comment. Final item on our agenda is citizens' comments, during which we invite the public to address the mayor and council on any issues related to tonight's agenda or any other city matters. For those not in attendance for this public meeting, we welcome your comments via email at comments@westminstermd.gov. All email comments will be shared with the mayor and council. Please include your address and phone number with your comments. We will now invite comments from those present this evening. This is an opportunity for the public to share their thoughts with the mayor and council. Our role at this point is to listen to your comments and respond appropriately after consultation with staff. Is there anyone here this evening that wishes to be heard? Good. Okay, on that note, this concludes our agenda and the meeting. Our next regular meeting will be Monday, August 25th. And with that, and without objection, we are adjourned.